In part 2 of the Quickstart tutorial, we are looking at skills and domains, and we're going to pick up right where we left. In our tutorial, we had the use case that at the Sunrise Breakfast Hut, we want trainees to be able to prepare 4 recipes. Vegetable sticks with yogurt dip, fried onion rings, omelette with vegetables and cheese, and a hard-boiled egg. So what we're going to do now, we are going to think about which skills and competencies are needed to prepare said dishes. And if we think about that, we can group them into 3 categories, which we are going to call domains. This would be preparation, cutting, and preparation methods for the dishes. And the skills we're going to need are washing, peeling, cracking eggs for preparation. For cutting, we need the pinch grip, because it is important to know how to hold the knife in order not to endanger the own fingers. Slicing, dicing, mincing, and we have 2 preparation methods we need for the 4 meals, which are frying and boiling. Now, if I'm going to talk to you about said skills and say you need to know about slicing, you might have a very different impression what this skill consists of in difference to my impression about the skill. So it would be very nice to have a standard which states how to define a skill, and we have that. If we click on what is a skill, we can first of all see the definition of the skill. This is a bit of Inception, you know that from the movies with Leonardo. But we can also check out the resources and check the methodology, which explains a bit about the skill definition. So a skill is the smallest form of knowledge, and ideally it is possible to understand the basic requirements for obtaining the skill in a couple of minutes. So not to master the skill, but just to get a basic understanding on what the skill is about. So we have the following information about the skill. We have the name of the skill, which is marked with 1, the verification buttons, but we are not going to talk about them at the moment. They're not important for the skill definition itself. We will look at them later. We have a description for each skill, which tells us what the skill is about, which gives us a rough idea. We have learning goals, which are formulated so learners and trainees can check against their own progress. Am I ready? Do I really have this skill? There are also prerequisites, and we will come to them in a moment. For this time being, we have none in the skills. We have resources which are recommended by the skill creator. So these are resources which are explicitly recommended to look at for a single skill by the creator of the skill. And we have tags, where we have on one hand the domain tag, which is the group we talked about before. So for example, preparation methods. And we have additional tags if we just need more keywords that we want to search for to rediscover the skill. This is a common approach in many platforms. And we have a maintainer, so we know who created the skill and which company he or she comes from. So that's about it for a skill definition. So the next interesting thing is, how can we create our own skills on the skill display platform? So we go to the backend and check out the visual skill editor. We do a right click and create a new skill. For example, the pinch grip. Click on enter, and the new skill is available immediately. We see a little exclamation mark. This tells us that the skill is not defined completely yet. There is missing information about the skill. So we click on the little edit pencil button, and a new form opens where we can put in all the details like the description, the goals. We can choose the tags, the domain tag, the other tags that we need. We can create new tags by clicking on the little plus icon, and we can define the links, which are the resources in the result. The other tabs are advanced methods, which we're going to look at a bit later. So this is how you can define a skill on the platform, and to check out the result, what it would look like in the end is something like this. So for the Sunrise Breakfast Hut, we have the pinch grip, and this is the art of holding a knife in a way in order not to endanger the own fingers, as well as being effective. So there are certain goals. I know how to apply the pinch grip when holding a knife, and also I can perform cutting motions with a knife while using the pinch grip in a way that ensures the safety of my fingers. And I'm going to use the pinch grip a lot because when preparing food in the kitchen, we need a lot of knife cutting and according knife skills. So that is the way we can define one or more skills, and we are going to look how skills can connect to each other. We're going to check out how that is done in the next video and in the next part of the tutorial.